we learn about Iman, how Islam is scrutinized into belief plus action. So how the Islamic tree is divided, right? So in the third week, you're gonna learn why Iman is important for you. Okay. Before we start, I'm gonna introduce you to some of the Islamic terminology. This is a more detailed chart compared to last week because I want you to understand some of the terminology, because in the next coming weeks we're gonna use those terminology very often, and I want you to understand those terminology first before we are using that, unless you'll get lost. Okay. So you know Amalia. When we call Amalia, we are talking about action, right? Amalia is action. Deed is action. When you speak about akidah or faith, that is the belief. See, the belief is in the root, while the amalia is what you can see here. The bridge between the two is called ihsan, or the excellence. So you do your amalia in an excellent manner, as if you see some part of the akidah, which is Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. So ihsan is the bridge between the amalia and the akidah. So you do your salah, you do your zakah, you do your fasting, you do your hajj, you do your marriage, inheritance, jihad, obedience to parents, as if you know Allah, as if you can see Allah. But if you cannot see Allah, then you know Allah sees you. So ihsan is the bridge between the amalia and the akidah. Everything is called the sharia. Okay? Everything is called what? The sharia. So however, I want to emphasize here, when you talk in the daily circumstance, in the daily setting, you read the newspaper, when people talk about the Sharia, they refer to only the Amalia. They never speak about the Aqidah. So you see in the newspaper the anti-Sharia bill, what they are mentioning is that you cannot do Salah, you cannot write a will, inheritance, will based on the inheritance law. You cannot dress as a Muslim in front of the public. So when people talk about Sharia in the daily circumstance, what they are referring to is actually the Amalia. But actually the actual meaning of Sharia is everything, not just the Amalia part. So don't be confused when people are talking, I don't like the Islamic Sharia. Oh, how come you don't like the Islamic Sharia? Because the understanding of the Sharia is everything, including the Iman. If you don't like the Islamic Sharia, then you're not a Muslim actually, because you don't like the Iman also. But actually when people talk like that, what they are referring to is just the action, not the belief. Okay? So there are the actual meaning and the daily usage sometimes has a gap in it, right? And when people talk about Iman, even though Iman is a complete system of action and belief, but when people talk about Iman, they only refer to Aqidah only. So you know what? Like people say, you should have a strong iman to Allah, but they are not talking about the action. You should have a strong iman to the hereafter, because we are going to the hereafter. They are talking about the Aqidah, but they are talking with the terminology of iman, while actually iman consists of what? Belief and action. So again, you can see here the actual meaning and the daily usage sometimes have a gap in it. Okay, and then have you heard about the term of fiqh? Have you heard about fiqh? What is fiqh? Mary, what is fiqh? Anybody know fiqh? So this is a branch of subject in the Islam, right? Amalia is one subject in the tree of Islam. Ihsan is one subject in the tree of Islam. Aqidah is one subject in the tree of Islam. The science that discuss it is called the fiqh for Amalia. So fiqh is the science that discuss about Amalia. See what I'm saying? This is fiqh. Fiqh is the science that talk about Amalia. So you see the fiqh of inheritance, you see the fiqh of salah, you see the fiqh of zakat, you see the fiqh of marriage, but you will never see the fiqh of Allah. See? You never see the fiqh of malaikat, because fiqh only talks about Amalia. And because we have science, so we have the professor in it, right? So there are some important names here. For example, who did I mention last week? Ahmad bin Hanbal, right? This is one. Ahmad bin Hanbal is a scientist in the science of fiqh. Ahmad bin Hanbal. And then Imam Shafi'i. Have you heard Imam Shafi'i? He is the scientist in the field of fiqh. Imam Shafi'i. And then Imam Hanbali, that is the scientist, the professor in the field of fiqh. And then when we talk about Aqidah, the science is called Usul Aqidah. Usul Aqidah. Of course, there is a professor in it sometimes. There is one named like Abu Jafar At-Tahawi. This is just for your knowledge. Abu Jafar At-Tahawi. And then there is Ibn Taymiyyah. And then there is a Tazkiyatun Nafs. Tazkiyatun Nafs is the science that discuss about ihsan, purification of soul. And the scientist is, you may have heard, Imam Ghazali. So now you understand the meaning of Sharia, you understand the meaning of fiqh, you now understand the meaning of iman, belief and everything. And I know because this may be the first time you heard about it, but take your time to learn this slide because I'm going to send you after this to familiarize yourself with the terms, because we are going to use it very often in the future, including your unlife though, I mean, not just for this class. Okay, this is very important. In the tree of Islam, the creed part is very important here. The Aqidah part is very important. The belief part is very important because of the definition that was given here. Can you read it for me, Adrian?
Creed is a statement of belief. It consists of
Aqaid,
belief, which your heart accepts, with which your soul is content, about which you are convinced without any doubt.
So this part here, which is in the root, you cannot pass away with having a doubt in it. You are not allowed to pass away with having any doubt in it. And this is the goal of this class. So we want to give you the knowledge about those iman, but you should act upon it by yourself, okay? So that you, by the time you pass away, we are gonna pass away anyway. We don't have any doubt in it, okay? We are just giving you the knowledge, but later on you should act upon it, and you should get the understanding by acting upon it. The knowledge will only give you a certain degree of knowledge, a certain degree of understanding, but the full understanding is attained through acting. So that's why you should do the whole Islamic tree in one package. You cannot just believe, but you should also act upon it, because the acting upon it will give you the understanding of the pillar of iman. And Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala doesn't want us to pass away with having any doubt in Allah, with having any doubt about Rasulullah, with having any doubt about the messenger, with having any doubt whether the hereafter will be there or not. He doesn't want us to do that, okay? It's very important. The Islamic faith, you cannot have any doubt in it, okay? And it comes from where? If you look at the meaning of that is part of Bidah. Where does every information come from? The Quran and the Sunnah. So when you talk about Aqidah, you cannot talk about the opinion of the people. We will see later on why. But it should come from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala and His messenger. Okay. Now I'm asking you, Michelle, tell me the 6 pillars of iman. What are they? The 6 pillars of belief. Belief is in where? In a mu'min, in a person. Belief is in the heart. What are they? That we should believe that people cannot see you. Believe in what? Believe in Allah.